Sky Sports News can reveal that they are facing a charge for allegedly breaching the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules in their final season before being relegated, meaning they could face a points deduction next season. Our senior reporter Rob Dorset has spent much of the day looking into this. Where are we up to?
It's a huge story, this one, Nick. You're right. Yesterday we talked about the Championship leaders, Leicester City, potentially breaching the EFL's rules on profit and sustainability. Leicester had projected that they might do that by the end of the season. They hadn't broken any rules yesterday, and there will be no further action from the EFL against Leicester. So that yesterday's story was done and dusted. But I've been looking into this story in significant detail, and I can tell you exclusively that Leicester City are facing a charge for allegedly breaching the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules in that final season they had last season before they were relegated from the Premier League to the Championship. I've been told that Leicester's accounts covering last season, which will be made public later this month, by the way, that those accounts are expected to show they exceeded the £105 million PSR losses that are permitted over the previous 3 seasons. It could mean that Leicester are formally charged by the Premier League as soon as next week, I've been told. And of course, similar breaches by Everton and Nottingham Forest have led to formal charges and possible point deductions to follow for both of those. I've been told today that it is possible that even though Leicester are alleged to have breached the financial rules in the Premier League, they could yet be punished if they're in the Championship. There is the scope within the rules for that to happen. Until this point, the impression that we'd always been given was that if the Premier League charge you, you can only be punished if you're in the Premier League. If the EFL charge you, you can only be punished when you're in the EFL. That is not the case. There has to be an agreement between the 2 leagues, but it's not without precedent that you fall foul of the rules in one and you're punished in the other. And so that does mean that Leicester could be punished if they're in the Championship next season. They are not going to get a points deduction this season. And that is a really important point to make here. Whatever the outcome of these charges, if they follow, Leicester will not get a points deduction this season. It will not affect their attempts to try and get promotion from the Championship. And there's a couple of reasons for that.
But they could start next season on minus something, whether they're in the Championship or the Premier League. That
absolutely could happen, but there's 2 reasons why they're not going to get a points deduction this season. One of them is timescale. There just isn't enough time. The facts of the matter are that if they're charged, the Premier League has to put the charges to Leicester, say what they're accused of. It then has to bring an independent commission together with KCs and eminent lawyers, give Leicester time to prepare their case, and then they hear that case, and then we wait for the outcome of that independent commission. Leicester can appeal again. There's no way that is going to happen between now and the end of the season. So timescale is one issue. But it's also, even though the Premier League tries its very best when it charges a club to force through any potential punishment in the same season, it did that with Everton, remember, it can't really do that here because they voted in the AGM last summer a change in the rules which said that fast-tracking of clubs that are allegedly in breach of the financial rules was brought in then, but that was after Leicester had been relegated from the Premier League, so those rules didn't apply to them. So, long way of explaining it, Leicester will not get punished this season, but they may well get punished next season, whichever division they are in.